Hey, welcome back. And you know what? We all need credit card processing.
True.
If you're in business, you do.
True.
Right? Even people that you would think that didn't need it. Like a mortgage company.
There are a ton of industries
think a
that
mortgage
need
company need
yeah,
it.
for sure.
They need it. So I got Leonard Godel, right? And you're from PandaPay. Let's talk about PandaPay. Talk about it. Tell me.
Sure. So
Hit it, baby.
we're an electronic transaction management company.
Okay.
So what that means is we help businesses that need to get paid.
Right.
You want to get paid faster? You're tired of chasing down checks? Tired of waiting for that Venmo, Cash App to arrive? You want to get paid faster? Maybe you want to pay a lower rate? That's what we do.
Ooh, lower rate. So can you say numbers right now, or are they kind of in what percentage?
So it's a loaded question.
I know. That's
Okay?
why I'm like,
So
can I ask that question?
when you're a business owner and you have a brick and mortar business, somebody walks into your business
Right.
with their credit card. Depending on the points, rewards, spend limits associated with
Right.
that card, there are different fees that you can pay. It's a
Okay.
cost, and it's called the interchange.
Oh.
All businesses, all processors share that same cost. The
Okay.
difference is what's charged above that cost.
Right.
You could be in a specific industry and take certain types of cards, and you could average cards that are 1.5%. Or you can be in another industry, maybe a high-end business in a high-end part of town that takes only foreign cards, and they could average 2.7%. The difference is not necessarily what processor you're using, but what is that processor charging above that cost. So you could be in a range of 2 to 2.5%. That's
Okay.
probably a decent range to be in. But again, it kind of depends on what kind of industry you're in, what kind of cards you're taking. It's a loaded question.
I did not. So I mean, I didn't realize that if I'm in a different industry, I'm gonna pay more.
Yeah, so some industries have access to lower costs.
Right.
If you are a charity, if you are a grocery store, if you're a government service, you're going to have a lower cost than, let's say, a traditional retail business or a professional like a doctor, vet, dermatologist, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
If you're dealing in high-end jewelry, you are considered a high-risk business. You might have access to higher costs.
Is that because of the potential chargebacks?
Yes. Yes, chargebacks are a big thing in this
Okay.
industry. So you
Right.
know a little bit about chargebacks.
Oh. Yeah, I know a couple things.
So
I'm in the video production world.
yeah, so I mean, ultimately, a chargeback, any transaction, whether it's done over the phone or you put your chip in that machine, any transaction can be disputed, and 99% of the time, the cardholder wins that chargeback.
Yep.
Unless a business owner takes a lot of steps to protect himself. Phone number, picture of the front and back of the card,
Contract.
signature, written authorization with a signature. I do have clients who have won chargebacks before. It
I've
happens.
won several, but because I had contracts in place.
Well, so the biggest thing is, are you taking the steps to protect yourself? I did have a business in Toronto when I started out that was getting chargebacks regularly. They were in a high-end part of town, and their business was these high-end skin exfoliation devices and creams and stuff like that. So they would literally have like beautiful girls and boys standing out on the street, dragging people in. Hey, come see what we got. And it's impulse purchases. I said to them, you got to take more information about these clients if you want to protect these purchases.
Right.
They're like, we're gonna lose the sale. We're willing to risk,
It's a churn and
1%
burn,
of their
churn and burn,
volume.
churn and-
We're
yeah.
willing to risk 1% of our volume because at the time they were making $300,000 a month. So losing, $2,000 every month on these chargebacks wasn't a big deal to
Right.
them because they were making so much. Now, COVID killed that business.
Yeah.
And now they do other stuff. But yeah, it's really, it's a big piece. There's a ton of fraud in this industry. So businesses need to protect themselves.
Do you supply the hardware, software? Can I do this on my website? Do you have that web interface, all that kind of fun stuff?
So the answer to all of those questions is yes. So for the most part, my bread and butter is a physical terminal. You can see sort of at the bottom of the screen here, it says physical terminal. So you want something that's wired into your desktop. You want something that you can walk around your office with. You want
Okay.
something that you can take in your truck for service calls. We have everything.
Okay.
You want something with apps on it, a smart terminal, so you can do bookkeeping or you can do restaurant POS. We have smart terminals that you can do that with.
Okay.
Do you want something more remote? If you are, let's say, taking calls over the phone and taking credit cards over the phone, we have virtual terminals, so you can do that remotely. You can send an email to your customers, and they can enter their credit card information, returns the payment to you, and we can hook up to your website.
So if I want to do an online store and do my processing through PandaPay, that's a possibility.
Absolutely.
So that's a big deal because most people have to go to Shopify or crap like that.
Oh,
And
don't
then
go to
they're
Shopify.
losing so much money Just do it on your website.
Friends don't let friends use Shopify.
I know, right?
So Shopify, it's a good service. It makes everything easy for you, but it costs you money.
A lot of money.
It's probably a little bit cheaper to get a web developer to design a site and put, let's say, WooCommerce on there. We
Right.
have a free plugin, and it's connected directly to your bank account,
Yep.
and you're paying tons less than you would with Shopify.
Wow. So where do people, if I wanted to get a hold of you to go, hey, I want to sign up with you, where do I go?
So, I mean, 813-729-5666. That's my office number here. It comes directly to my cell phone. I use Ring Central. Can I plug Ring Central? Those guys are great.
Yeah.
Ring Central helped me keep my Canadian phone number. My Canadian clients can still call me on my same Ring Central app, reach me. My tagline, if you've met me at a networking meeting, I always say, I always answer my phone. So whether it's me or my internal office manager, somebody is going to answer the phone and help you. If you want to sign up, if you have a question about your existing account, whatever it is, somebody's going to answer the phone, somebody's going to help you. You go back to worrying about your business, let me deal with the rest.
Wow. That's good. I do like Ring Central. They're good guys. Actually, my son used to work for a company that sold Ring Central.
Okay.
And he knows it. We don't have it here, but we're too little. Believe it or
Okay.
not. We're tiny. There's only 2 of us. Believe it or not. Only
Okay.
2 of us.
Well,
so how else? So what else can you tell the people at home about the credit card processing systems that you haven't already told them?
Okay,
'Cause I know
so
it can be scary.
the company that I work for was started in 2014 in Montreal, which is
Okay.
where I'm from. Coincidentally, I was living in Toronto when I came to them.
Welcome to the States.
Thank you. It's been 1 year as of last
Good for
week.
you.
And
You're not melted yet, so that's all good.
a little bit. I'm getting.
Just a little bit.
I'll get into that. So ultimately, these guys who started our company, they worked for all the big players in Canada. There's some
Okay.
companies called Moneris and Chase, which is here in the U.S., and First Data, which is also here in the U.S. And they saw a lot of horrible practices. Businesses getting locked into long-term contracts, or they would be signed to some kind of introductory rate and then have their rates jacked up over time.
Yep.
Or somebody would come install their machine, and then they try to get in touch with them, and they would disappear.
Right.
Never
That's
get in touch
usually
with them
what
again.
happens, right?
So we started PandaPay. Why PandaPay? Black and white. Everything's in black and white. There's no gray areas with us. Okay? We keep things simple, honest, and straightforward.
Okay.
And so I came to PandaPay about year 2. I worked in the financial industry for 20 years. I worked for mutual funds, pensions, all that kind of stuff. I was looking for something different. I like to say I was bored from cubicle to cubicle. My wife and I were on a flight to Costa Rica. We met a couple. We chatted for 4.5 hours, and he gave me his card. He said, you should do this. And so all week in Costa Rica, between volcanoes and hot springs and the ocean, I'm looking at this card going, I've never done this before. What should I
Right.
do? But he said to me something that stuck with me. He goes, people are going to like you. And when I met the CEO of PandaPay, the CEO told my mentor, the guy that I met, he said, drop this guy. He's never going to make a sale. Don't worry about him. But 6 years later, I'm part owner of the company. I'm helping them grow the brand here in the U.S.
Right.
And I'm never going back to a cubicle again.
Attaboy.
Yeah. And so what I'm doing is I'm helping business owners. I started my business by literally walking door to door, walking into a business, introducing myself. Is there a way that I can help you? Let's find out what your issues are. What are your pain points? How can I help?
Got it.
And most often it's saving money. Sometimes it's I need a better service experience. Sometimes it's I just need somebody that I can talk to when I have a question.
That's a big deal right
and
there.
For
That's
that,
number one.
And for that, I've helped a lot of merchants. Okay,
Right.
so I built a big book of business in Canada. I helped them grow the brand. I was the first rep in Toronto. Now I'm the first rep on the ground in the U.S., helping them build it here. We have very little infrastructure here. I'm basically, paving the way.
You're paving the way.
There's far more competition here. There's
more than you
I would
know.
say probably 100 times more competitors than in the U.S. Than in Canada.
Yeah.
It's crazy. There's so many competitors here. You could walk down the street to 50 different businesses and see 50 different
It is.
different processors. In Canada, there's maybe 10 players, and 7 of those are resellers of the others. So there's really so much more to do here. But it makes it a little bit easier.
Right.
People say, I haven't heard of PandaPay. Well, have you heard of every other processor that's out there? No,
Right.
you haven't. In
Yeah.
Canada, there's so few, they haven't heard of PandaPay. Well, why not? We're like one of the only players out there. You got to know us by now.
Yeah.
But we're growing really well. If you look up PandaPay online, we got over 300 reviews. We're 4.6 on Google. People love us. We're doing right by merchants. We're helping them. We're the largest independent in Canada, and we're just getting bigger by the day.
Dude, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. I was going to ask you an RGA question, but we're out of time. So stick around. We got more people coming on. We'll be right back after these messages.